All right, hi there, copiers and followers. A little bit of a different video today. I get lots of the same questions over and over, and years ago, 2017, I created this FAQ, which I've slowly been building upon to answer some of those questions when they do come up. There are a lot of nuances to the etoro platform, so I expect many questions about the platform as well as investment in general. So jumping into it, how much should I copy with? So this will depend on your individual circumstances. I would say a good investment is about 2,000 to 4,000. Personally, I have more than 20 times that amount in etoro. Again, it comes down to you. You do need to put a minimum of $400 into your copy of me. I explain a little bit about it below. And this is because the percentage of your copy that copies any trade that I make needs to have a dollar value of more than $1. There are also some rounding nuances. I believe etoro rounds down cases where there is some kind of rounding required opening. Now the right time to copy? Probably the number one question that I get. So in any 12-month period and any multi-year period, my aim is to beat the benchmark, the market. For me, that's the S&P 500 by at least 20%. Historically, I've beaten the S&P 500 by quite a lot more. Now, if you want to copy me, you are effectively copying my style and my approach to investment. So you should plan to have your money stick around with me for at least 6 months and hopefully over multiple years. If you do that, then the timing doesn't really matter. That being said, sometimes there are events in the market that can completely take the bottom out unexpectedly. So if you are worried about that, you can do something called cost averaging, and I've linked to it over here. Effectively, that means that you were going to invest, let's say, $1,000 in me, you might split it into 3 parts, invest some now, wait for a big market dip, invest more then, and wait for another dip after that, then invest the remaining part after that. How long should you copy for? Like I said, at least 6 to 12 months. Although I would say if you can go multi-year, that's even better. My longest copiers have done very, very well. Do I copy open trades? Now, this is debated amongst my copiers. And for those that are more experienced, they tend to do a little bit of manual work around this. In general, I would say copy my open positions because my whole portfolio is meant to work together. So each of those positions, some are higher risk, lower risk, they balance each other out. There are some copiers that would open a copy and then they might close. I don't know, if I have any oil trades and they don't like oil companies, they might close those trades because they don't want to invest in oil. So it is up to you. How do you copy open trades? Well, etoro has created some good documentation around that, so I've just linked out to that. How do you increase your investment? So this did change last year, become a lot more straightforward. Again, there's a link, my blog post. Effectively, you can add money to copy my trades, which I would suggest you do unless I've added funds and you're adding a corresponding amount that you keep up with. Why is my investment in the red? There are a number of reasons. 3 main ones would be you've just started copying and you've had to pay the spread. Everyone has to pay the spread at some point. Immediately you do a bit of red. You might have copied and the market has taken a dip. I don't think that I have a crystal ball and know when all the dips are coming. I think I've got a pretty good feel for the ebbs and flows of the market in usual times. But again, sometimes I'll miss, and that's to be expected. It's not something I would be too worried about. And some you may not have copied open trades. either on purpose or by mistake. So that's just that to be aware of. If you did do it by mistake, you can close the copy and reopen it. You will repay the spread. But that's only very. Why are my stats different from yours? So again, lots and lots of reasons. Might be about the spread. It might be that I have added funds. I haven't done this for a long time. I did add funds during the largest part of the dip in March. So if you didn't add funds then you may not have picked up some of the that I got at the time, so you'll be slightly out of sync. Although over time, as I close and open new trades, and like I said in question 1, if you have copied with a very small amount, less than $400, then you might not have picked up some of. Do I have to do anything once I've copied you? No. This is one of the most wonderful things about the copy trader mechanism on eToro. You don't have to do anything. I would always suggest that you copy a few people because you want to diversify across people with slightly different strategies or different asset classes, because you want to diversify your investment to them. Think of each of them as hedge funds, I guess. And just like other funds, some are more risky than others, or they focus on particular. The only thing that you need to do, and this is actually incredibly hard, is be patient. And sometimes have patience through a drawdown. So on red, if everything's going wonderfully and everything's all green, people tend to give me high praise. But it's when things turn a little bit red that I see a lot of people questioning my strategy, which is to be expected unless you are very experienced and have a lot of patience. Question 10. So if you were copying me or copying someone else and you've tried to close that copy, you might encounter a situation where some of the positions will trying to close. And this is because I have positions that are open on different exchanges. And those exchanges operate during business hours according to their geography. So if I have, let's say, stocks in US, UK, and China, then you close your copy, and let's say it's 3 o'clock UK time, the positions will close, US positions will close, Chinese positions won't close until. Where should you set your stop loss? I need to make a whole video about stop losses. In general, I don't use stop losses. There are some rare situations where I might, but setting an arbitrary price point for a position to close itself for me is just not part of my strategy. I invest in businesses. It's not that I'm gambling on stocks. I invest in companies that I think are undervalued. The market has undervalued them for whatever reason. And it's not that when the stock price of that company reaches a particular point that I believe that position should be closed. I would only close my position if I thought the outlook for that business was no longer good. So that being said, I don't really have massive drawdowns year to year. 2018 was an exception, but that will never happen again. So the maximum that you might see is, let's say, minus 20%, maybe. Probably not, maybe. But whatever you're comfortable with. Going into the February-March drop, I removed just about all stop losses from my companies because I believe those companies would recover no matter what happened to them when they stop. What happens to your money when I close a position profit? So if you invested, let's say, $1,000 with me, and I'd increase that to $1,100, and I closed all profitable positions, the profit would then remain as a part of your copy of me, and I would be able to take that and reinvest it in new positions, compounding on the return. So you don't need to do anything. Money is still there. The idea is that I am compounding the return profitable for long. How do you like cryptos? This one has changed for me a little bit. I think the world has shifted. I believe that we should probably be focusing money on Bitcoin almost exclusively. I still do hold my portfolio outside of etoro, but I'm also happy for it to go to zero. Moon or bust. Why is such a big portion of the funds I have with you not invested? So there will be times, well, let me go through the points. You've added funds of your copy to me after your original copy. So, and if you didn't choose to copy my open trades, the funds will be sitting waiting for open trades and they'll slowly be picked up. It might be that I am holding a large cash in my account. That usually means that I am trying to offset any risk of a market dip. The market does dip. We don't have 100% of our portfolio in stocks or 100% of the stock portfolio dipping. So we are protected a little bit against corrections. And then also we have a whole bunch of money that we can then use in that correction to buy stocks cheaper than they were before the correction, thereby in an even better return. Point 3, you didn't copy open trades. Number 4, it might be that so in the same way that when you close a copy, there might be positions that are pending close. When you open a copy, it opens positions in your copy as markets for those positions open. So same example, if you copied me at 3 o'clock UK afternoon, it might be that the US will be opened, but we need to wait for the Chinese market to open until the remaining part of your copy is opened. And maybe you have a copy of me with enough funds. So you need to do anything with the profits are generated. As I kind of said earlier on, you just need to sit back, be patient, and trust copy trader mechanism. All right, thank you. I'm always looking for new questions to add to this list. I haven't noticed any coming up commonly enough to be added, but if I'm wrong, it wouldn't be the first time I was wrong, let me know. All right, thank you.